So just a couple of introductions. I'm Cam Adriansem. I work as a product marketing manager here at Vendasta. So my job, together with Erica Polishchuk, is to get vendor products into the marketplace. So we facilitate, a lot of education training, putting together marketing and sales collateral just to make sure that you are well equipped to sell any of the products in the Vendasta marketplace. And Sophie here is the product marketing manager of Website Express, which we'll be also sharing out later. And Erica is the product marketing intern who is doing really, really great working with us in bringing in the new vendors. So welcome, everyone. Maybe we can get started.
Do you want me to take over the screen share?
Yeah, for sure.
See if I can find the right one.
Introduce yourselves.
Sure. Okay, are you seeing what you're supposed to see?
Yeah, it's a little zoomed in. But there we go, yeah.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Okay, well, my name is Scott Sanderson. I'm the founder of Shoptoit, and I want to thank you for joining us as we're quite excited to launch this newly automated, what we call product-based Google Ads on the Vendasta platform. So it's a great fit and an add-on for any of the product-led growth stuff that Vendasta has been really working hard to help small and very small businesses, particularly in this sort of trying time with COVID and everyone's concerned about what they're going to do coming out of it. The thing about this that we're going to show you and go through how it works and what it does, but more importantly, how to position it and when to position it. So the trick with this is product-based ads on Google are for sure the highest return on ad spend thing that Google has. You'll see who's doing this, what they look like, what they are. We've brought it very, very down market, and you can start a campaign at the wholesale cost of $99 US a month. So trying to remove the barrier for any small business to say, I just can't afford to do that. And frankly, what it does is it delivers immediate results. These are live in 2 days, and you start to see results through the executive report in 2 days. Now, why that's important, why we wanted to highlight that is because today's climate, these product-based retail businesses, so whether you're selling pizzas or you're selling running shoes or toasters, those are all products to Google and to Shoptoit. And when you're trying to figure out curbside pickup and online payments, which Sophie's going to show you a great product that you can use to create a online payment gateway with website and products really fast in Vendasta's marketplace. And this tool delivers results. And people today are looking for results. They're uncertain about the future and results. It's a little tricky in today's world because everybody's kind of waiting for SEO results to kick in, and they're awesome because they're free, but they're what we call gradual at Shoptoit. We've got a lot of experience with it, but it takes time. Ads, immediate, SEO, gradual. So that's the difference. That's the differentiation to it. So we're going to go through this, but by all means, if you have a question and it's burning, just ask it and we'll get to it. So here's what's changed with consumer behavior. You've heard it 100 times, but we know the consumer has changed dramatically. And largely due to the COVID issues, it's forced retailers to try and figure out online and alternative ways to accommodate the needs of the customer. It's basically appeal to the consumer or lose the sale. That's what we're at today. And you need to have that flexibility. And there's a ton of small businesses that have been putting off this investment. But now with Vendasta and Shoptoit, anyone can afford to do this and get results. So we know for sure that when we're looking to buy a product or a service that we turn to Google, sometimes Amazon, but primarily Google. And you're not going to get a small business easily into Amazon, although we do have tools for that. This is about getting product-based ads into Google for your customers. And there's been an incredible rise in local searches. Just think of what you're doing. You know, you're trying to figure out, is that store open? Is there curbside? Can I buy online and pick up in store? What is going on with it? And you go to Google, and you go to local search in Google, and you go to regular search in Google. Of course, Google, as you know, lives on these ads called Google Ads. They're based on clicks. So impressions are free, but clicks are not. Our tool keeps you in the search experience. We are not doing display ads with these. It's 100% in the search experience. There is some display stuff in the free, what's called Google Surfaces, which our tool also gives your customer, but we'll talk about that separately. So we know more and more consumers are trying to support local business. That's become a real zeitgeist thing. It's in the top of our mind. If I could buy from someone who's not Walmart, I would. But we also know that a consumer is very much driven by convenience. So if it's inconvenient for me to engage or find your business, I just end up going to what I know, which is maybe one of the big box stores. The trick here is to help your customers in your local markets make it convenient for a searcher to find them. And that means getting them into ads. It just does. So that's what this is all about. So when searching for a product, a consumer is shown results consisting of paid listings, which is all the, or ads, which is all the real estate in the top. All the good stuff goes to Google making money, and then free listings, but you guys are aware of that. Whether you're a business that's selling online, like a pure play e-commerce play, or whether you're selling into a local market, if you're selling products, you need to make sure that your product information is published, it's properly formatted, and it's submitted to Google in that proper format, their schema. If you want to help your customers get new, is that too windy? I'll move. If you want your customers to get new customers from Google, you got to give Google what they want, and frankly, what they want is to be paid. So, sorry about that. But trying to compete for organic traffic in the products world is really going to be a challenge for you. Your competition is now Amazon, Home Depot, like all of the big guys are there. So you have to try and beat them, and that's tricky. But you can beat them in product ads. Google wants to deliver local results to searchers. You just have to know what you're doing. And if you're not careful, you're going to overspend for your customer. Overspend means you're buying the wrong words, your strategy is wrong, and the budget is not delivering results. So this whole business is highly accountable because a consumer or the customer can actually see what kind of results they're getting, because those results are often online. So now they have a high degree of accountability to the effectiveness and the return on ad spend of your campaign. So it's very critical that you recognize that a combination of SEO and advertising is really a great combination for those small businesses to really start to get some traffic now, which they're desperate to do. So Google requires a lot of data, a lot of attention to run an effective ad campaign. Because you're competing with these bigger guys like the Amazons, Walmarts, Home Depots of the world, it's really tricky for you as a reseller or an agency to even consider running product ad campaigns for small businesses, because there's a lot of work and the budgets are small. There's not a lot of margin. So it's a struggle for small businesses, including your business. But there are ways that you can try to compete with Google Ads, including managing it, outsourcing it to someone like an agency. You can go to third-party agencies that bulk it up and do it. And you could theoretically try to learn to run an effective product ads campaign for your clients, but it's technical, it's ever-changing, and it's really a complicated thing. So it just doesn't create an opportunity for you, in our opinion, of creating a sustainable business model for either you or your clients. And that's why we've brought this to market. There's another new thing that's out there from Google. It's called Smart Campaigns. So this is their direct to business self-serve tool. So Google is now going to businesses and saying, hey, look, just tell us your website and your product category, set your budget, and we'll take your money, and we promise to spend it wisely for you. There's been a lot of, interesting back and forth as to, why is Google doing that, effectively cutting out the small agency? But what is going on here? Now, the good news about these things is they're not very accountable to the budget. So they're positioned as easy to set up and manage and built for smaller businesses. However, they're very restrictive and they deny any control or optimization of the ads. You can't do anything with the keywords. Google picks them. You can't control the budget or the way the budget is being spent. Smart Ads has no capacity for negative keywords, and negative keywords in this highly competitive arena are the thing that will kill your ad campaign's return on ad spend. If you're not really paying attention to it, you can't do anything with it in Google Smart Ads. And they build them as an AI-based machine learning system that is going to learn and grow over time. However, you have to be spending, I think the threshold is $2,500 or something a month in order for the machine learning or AI to be able to actually kick in. Now, you're a small business. There aren't that many small businesses that have the capacity to spend $2,500 a month in Google. So effectively, this is not really much of a threat if you have any customers that are using it or trying to do it themselves. It's like, we'll just run one of these product ad campaigns through Vendasta Shoptoit and compare them side by side after 90 days. It'll be pretty clear to you what's doing a better job at driving traffic for you that you can quantify and see results from. So that's the third option that's out there. And then we think the fourth option. So the first one is do it yourself. The second one is try to hire an agency who's going to do it manually. And the third one is to try and run Google Smart Ads yourself. And we think this is the fourth option. Our fourth option is it's any size budget. We start at $99 a month. Again, that's the wholesale price. You can increase the ad spend at any time. It's a monthly recurring ad spend, and you can increase it in $50 increments. But our tool allows you to create a compounding recurring profit stream without doing any work, which I think is the whole point. Deliver results to your customer, do it in a profitable way, watch them grow, watch this funnel increase as they start to call you and say, hey, I need help with conversions, or I need help with looking after the customers, I need help with content. That all comes from these immediate results that you get from ads. But you can effectively manage campaigns for smaller businesses with little to no time. And we think that's really going to help you reach out to a bunch of them. There's no quotes here. It's basically, hey, do you want to get started, Mr. Customer? It's $150 or whatever you decide to mark it up to, and just go track results, track results, track results, upgrade them down the path, whether that's to more ads or things that are more in your core business, listings management, reputation management, all the tools that Vendasta has, particularly in that product-led growth program. So it takes you almost no time to get a campaign running, and you're going to start seeing results in 2 days. So that's normally the results start coming in about 1 day, but every once in a while, Google has an approval process that we have to put the product seller through. Is this an approved product? And so we always say it's 2 days, but oftentimes your campaign is running, if not the same day, then in the next day. And you literally will start to see results in the Vendasta executive report, like right away and in the dashboard in Vendasta, which we're direct API'd into, so you can see what's going on with your spend. But you'll be creating this prospect funnel, because as you start to talk to them about their results and they start to see the results in the executive report, they start to have more needs. So it's a great way to get going with small businesses in a cost-effective way, and then just really paying attention to the ones that have a propensity to increase their spends or to increase their investment in the services that you provide. So just a bit of a deeper dive into how our tool actually works. You know, it all starts with they need to have a website that has products in it. If you are a product seller, whether it's pizza or running shoes or whatever it is, those are all products, then you need to make sure that you are publishing that information on a web page of some kind so that people can have a chance of finding it. And in today's world, adding it to a cart and allowing for some kind of online payment or curbside pickup is becoming more and more critical. So if you don't have a website containing products, you can set one up with this. Like, it's a super cool Vendasta product, the Website Express, I think is what it's called. And they have a WooCommerce integration. Now, WooCommerce is a typical e-commerce play. Think Shopify, BigCommerce, all those guys. WooCommerce is a big one. And you can literally create one and turn that on. And Sophie's going to show you how in like minutes for a customer. They don't have to have every single product they sell, but if you have no product, they can find you for none of it. If you have some products, they can at least start to get traffic for it. So what we actually built is we built a direct integration into the WooCommerce plugin through WordPress. So blah, blah, blah. What it means is we can go into the product catalog that gets created in the WooCommerce integration and automatically pull all the product data or information directly across into our system. And then we digitize it, we map it according to Google's schema, and then we API into Google's ad engine, and bam, you're done. So literally you could take, we don't care if it's 1,000 products, 5 products, 1,000,000 products, doesn't matter to us. And you could do that without actually lifting your hand or your fingers at all. It's a push of a button. So super fast for you guys to be able to turn on a campaign, particularly when using the Vendasta WooCommerce integration with WordPress. Like, it's a great combination. You can take somebody who has no idea how to sell something online, how to take an order, how to create a product catalog, and bam, you're doing that in like 20 minutes tops. So, or at least that's how that's what Sophie's gonna tell you. So our system digests it. We can do it from all kinds of other products too, in our frequently asked questions page, or if it's not there now, it will be in our listing in Vendasta. There'll be an FAQs page that shows you some of the different integrations we have, but there's quite a few, a lot of the popular platforms. Literally, you don't have to tell us, you just push a button, the data flows into us, and you're live getting ads from Google. So once we've connected the product data to Google, the system automatically generates campaigns. Think of it like a campaign for each individual product. It literally is that small. You know, it's hundreds of keywords per product. We handle all the negative keywords. We have direct URLs to the landing pages for this specific product, which increases the conversion. So this is a game we know well and have been doing for a long time. And now it applies to local sellers as well as pure play e-commerce guys. So we do everything, right? It increases the campaign effectiveness and conversions because our system handles all the bidding, the budget, the management, everything. So they're never overpaying for clicks, which means you're going to have a higher return on ad spend, which is really everything that is important or relevant to these small businesses. They're small. They need every dollar to count. You need to be really accountable to making sure they're getting a high return. And that's what our tool does. So the most important factor in running an effective product ad campaign is choosing the right keywords. If you miss this, if you're going to try and do it yourself, if you don't do this and pay attention to that properly, you're going to really, Google will consume your money extremely fast. It's an auction system. Google has no dog in that fight. It's like somebody else wants to pay $10 for the words men's shoes. If you want the word men's shoes and you don't have the settings right, and you're bidding on what we call a head word like men's shoes, they'll take $10 a click all day long, and your customer will get no sales because their $100 ad campaign will give them 10 visits. And at 10 visits, your conversion rate is probably 0. But if you took Nike Air Max shoes near me and ran an ad campaign on that combination of words, which is what our tool does, it's called long tail keyword advertising. You can get that same customer while they're further down the buy cycle, so closer to the point of purchase, for like $1.50 or maybe even 75 cents, which means you can get 100 clicks instead of 10 clicks, which means you're going to have a higher ad spend or return on ad spend for your customer, which means you're going to keep them longer and be able to sell them more things. So that's the secret sauce of what our algorithms do, is they create extremely long tail keyword campaigns and then bid and buy on each of those words separately through, blah, 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 machine learning, AI, all that kind of good stuff. But we're doing it in a group setting. So we learn across not one individual customer, we learn across categories. So not just the pizza shop that you brought us, but all pizza shops. And we apply the learnings from that to everybody in that group or in that category. So that's essentially what we do with that. We make sure that it's all about the return on investment. Now, our tool then generates multiple variations of ads for each product. We take snippets from the business's website, along with factors such as the product searched for, or the location desired, to generate text ads for each product within the campaign. The ad copy is customizable by you, but does not need to be. Again, you literally don't have to do any work to start a campaign, but you can modify some of the default settings that we have, like the ad copy. If there's something specific that wants to be said or needs to be said in there, there's a tool and an interface in our merchant center that you access through the Vendasta platform. It's easy, but again, you shouldn't have to do that unless you're inclined. So our tool ensures the business gets found in the text-based ads, keyword ads, product-based ads, shopping ads, local ads with physical locations, as well as what's this new thing called Google Surfaces. Now, what Google Surfaces is Google is really trying to regain the product searcher from Amazon. People have started to search on Amazon and not Google for where to buy products. And Amazon, of course, is saying you should buy them from us. And Google is saying, here's a whole host of other places online that you can buy from. But what Surfaces is doing is they're saying, hey, there's Google Shopping, Google Search, Google Image Search, which for products is actually kind of a big deal, and a new thing called Google Lens. Now, what Google Lens is on your smartphone, if you go to your Google app, and you'll see in the search bar, there's a little image icon. If you push that image icon and take a picture of a product, so it's a bottle of wine or something like that, you take a picture of it, Google will actually do an image search for it. And through Google Lens, if you are a liquor seller, your store could conceivably show up for free in that search if you're running product ads with Google, if you have got this tool feeding Surfaces. So our tool does all that for you. There's a little wizard in there. Google requires a little bit more information about your client, but you should be able to set up and get any of your customers doing product ads with this tool, our tool, into the free search in Google Surfaces. Like, it shouldn't take you more than maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but you don't have to do it at all. We're going to get them into keyword. We're going to get them into local search, but that product search and Surfaces could be a big selling feature for you, because basically it's free traffic from Google. And we all know that when Google's handing out free traffic, it's great, but eventually Google usually takes away the free stuff and makes you pay for it. But you know, that is what it is. You may as well take it while it's there. So it's a good time to reach out to small businesses, because they're not going to know anything about this. There's a little bit more information again in our listing about how it works, but I think you'll find that it's a good way to introduce it to the market. So regardless of the ad types being run, we report on everything. So campaign activity through our Vendasta executive report. So we're directly linked into the executive report so your customers will start to, if that's how you have it set up, will start to receive a weekly, I believe, email with the results right in there. You can focus on results with your customer, not, you know, hope, waiting for something to happen. It will happen. We also have a comprehensive reporting dashboard inside of our merchant area that you access through Vendasta, but I don't think you really need to go there. This is about helping as many small businesses and being profitable, doing that as you can. And then as they grow and evolve and emerge, well, sure, there's lots of tools that we have to, you know, make it more in depth. You can do more stuff with our platform, but you really don't need to start. We don't even ask you any questions. But you can do things like customizable ad copy, manual keyword insertion, negative keyword submissions, competitive keyword insertion, you know, geographical targeting. I only want to target this zip code or postal code if you're in Canada, or I want to target this city plus that city. Our default is the city and the surrounding area, which I believe is 20 miles radius of the physical location or city that the business is in. But you can change that to whatever you want it to be. So our suggestion is that you let the tool do all the work, at least for the first 90 days of your campaign. You continue to focus on getting new clients and helping them, and then figure out who's going to be the real future of the groups you can work with. Hang on to the ones that just want a $100 ad campaign, but you're going to get a lot of people that are going to want more. So we think you can build a really good recurring, profitable, what Brendan King likes to say, compounding revenue or recurring compounding profit stream out of something like this. Trademark, Brendan King. So that pretty much sums up what we are, what we do, how we are doing it. You know, it's a great fit for smaller product-based businesses. It's challenging because they don't think they compete with Walmart, but you can, you really can, right? And you can start to help them get new customers as well as look after their existing customers with the other services and products you can get. And we're going to hand it over here now to Sophie with the Website Express and the WooCommerce plugin. The plugin from us will have instructions on the listing for how you can activate the plugin, but literally it's activate the plugin, push a button, and all the product information from the Vendasta WooCommerce integration just gets directly inserted into our database, and you're live and ready to go. You just tell us the budget, and that's it. Those are the only questions. I think that's it for me.
Scott, can you hear me?
Yep. Is that Phil?
Yes.
Hey, Phil.
I switched computers. How you doing? Hey,
Good.
you were just talking about, I'm brand new to Vendasta. I have me
Sure.
still going through this with Kelly, getting the thing figured out, going through the tutorials and everything. You just went through WooCommerce. Is that what you were talking about on Vendasta?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it right.
Yeah. So Yeah, and I'm like, if you hang on, Sophie's actually going to walk you through this, Phil, so you can see what the ask is on your side and just how much magic you can, do for a small business customer in such a short window of time. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. This is a Shopify killer. So pay attention to this part, because it's way better when you run an ad campaign from Shoptoit. I'll tell you that for sure. But this is a goodie.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. So like Cam said earlier, my name's Sophie. I'm the product marketing manager for our website product here at Vendasta. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys and take you through a quick walkthrough of Website Express. So our Website Express product, we recently released in the beginning of April. And what's really exciting about it is, like Scott mentioned, that integration with WooCommerce. And we also have an integration with a visual builder called Divi Builder, which allows users to really quickly and easily edit the front end of their site without having to use any code, which is awesome for WordPress, because I know sometimes people get a little bit nervous around WordPress, but we've made it really easy. So I'm going to take you guys through the process of setting up your first site. So when you enter the product for the first time, you will be prompted to enter a subdomain. And this is pretty much just finding a space for you on the internet. So we're going to proceed to the next step. And with Website Express, we have a variety of pre-made, totally customizable templates that you can use as a really great starting point. And so we have a variety of templates that say a type of vertical, and then with Divi and WooCommerce. And those are the ones that we want to pick because they'll already have those plugins installed. So I'm going to select to use this retail template, but I can preview a variety of them as well. Once I click use the template, it's just going to let you know that once you have selected a specific template, it's really not easy to go back. So we really want to utilize that preview function. So I'm going to click to confirm this template here. And it takes a couple of minutes to actually create the site. So I'm just going to jump over to another site that I've already created. So this is what it'll look like once our site has spun up. And this is the Website Express dashboard. As you can see on this dashboard, there are a few things that have this little pro badge next to them. And that is the ability to connect a custom domain and access our staging environment. And if a user or an SMB wants to have access to that, they can upgrade to the pro version. Their site will stay the same. They'll just get access to a few more awesome features. But I'm going to show you guys two things today in this short demo. The first is I'm just going to quickly show you that visual builder on the front end, and then we'll take a look at WooCommerce and I'll show you how easy that can be. So to edit the site on the front end, we have this really nice handy button that says Edit My Site. And if we click onto that button, we're going to be taken to the front end of our website with the visual builder already enabled. And so once this loads, what you will see is that I can start to hover over different aspects of my site, and they're all editable. So I could click into this box here, and I can change it to my business name. And I can do the same for any other text, to buttons. I can also really easily change images too. If I double click on an image, I can simply click to change the background, and I can add an image here. As I scroll down on the website, all of these different aspects, different layouts are totally customizable. You can easily delete or add new ones to make the site 100% how that SMB might want. So I'm going to now go into the WordPress dashboard, which is where the functionality of WooCommerce lives. And so in order to get to the WordPress dashboard, I'm going to click the name of the business in the top left corner here. And of course, I made an edit to the front of my site, so I'm going to save that before I go to the back end of WordPress. So now the back end of WordPress can sometimes be a little bit daunting. The back end of WordPress can sometimes be a little bit daunting to a first-time user. However, there's only a few spots that you really need to know about. So this here is our WordPress dashboard. And the spot that obviously is the most important right now is the WooCommerce tab on the side here. So if it's a user's very first time coming into this product, what I recommend is hovering over the WooCommerce tab here and going to the settings. And all of these tabs are really important and crucial information to that online store that your SMB will have. So you can easily click through all of these tabs, but a really nice and easy way to kind of figure out this on the first time is actually to click onto the help button in the top right corner and click onto the setup wizard. And once you click on this setup wizard, a really nice and easy kind of handheld walkthrough will take you through setting up all of these steps. So it's a really nice way to get started with this program. However, I'm just going to, for the sake of time, I'm just going to highlight a few really important aspects of the settings tab here. Obviously, when we are looking at the general tab, we want to make sure that our address is filled out properly, make sure that we have the proper currency. If we go through that setup wizard, this will all be taken care of, but this is where you could double check it later. So maybe I'm not selling in United States dollars, maybe I'm looking for Canadian, you can change that here. We're going to skip over the products tab because we're going to talk about that in a second, but the next tab here is the shipping. And as Scott mentioned, obviously local delivery or curbside pickup, all of those things are really popular right now. And so to do that, we're going to add a shipping zone. And so now here we can give our zone a name, whichever you like, pick the region, and I'm just going to put Saskatchewan for right now, where Vendasta is located, and then we can click to add a shipping method. So we can either have a flat rate, which is just a flat rate for the specific shipping, or we can also select that local pickup option as well. The next really important tab here is the Payments tab. And so the Payments tab here is where you're going to be able to set up how an SMB is going to be accepting payments through their online store. So these are the 4 options that come pre-installed with the WooCommerce plugin. Obviously, one really popular being PayPal. And to turn that on, we simply click the toggle to enable it. And then we click the setup button here. Obviously, there's going to need to be some communication through PayPal and WooCommerce here, but they give you really clear directions for that. If there is another payment processor that you're looking for, say for example, Stripe or something just like that, what you can do is you can actually add a new plugin for that specific payment processor, because WooCommerce is a global brand. They are integrated with majority, if not all, payment processors. So I'm going to quickly show you how you would do that. What you would do is you would go to the Plugins tab in the left navigation menu and click Add New. So this is where you can access the millions of WordPress plugins that are available to you. And what you're going to do is you're actually just going to search. So I'm going to search for Stripe WooCommerce. And then as you can see is I can install that payment gateway. And then activate it. And the same process would be for a variety of other payment processors, such as Square or something like that. So now I've activated my plugin. I can see that message there. I'm going to head back to that Settings tab really quickly. Head to the Payments tab. And now you can see I have a variety of Stripe options for my payment processor. Obviously, this first one, credit card being the most popular, and I can click to enable that and then set it up the same way I would the PayPal. So those are just a few high-level aspects of settings that we want to make sure that we're setting up when we set up our stores. And I just want to really quickly chat a little bit about products. So obviously we want to be adding our products to stores. Scott kind of mentioned it a little bit. It's not necessarily about getting every single product in the store right away, but it's really important to get, maybe some of those top sellers, or maybe there's a few products that an SMB wants to put out as online only. There's a lot of really great options with just putting, maybe 5 to 10 products for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to the Products tab.
I have a question for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What if they already have a website?
A website with an online store or just a website?
Let's say a pizza place. They already have a pizza place or a small pet store.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a small pet store where they already have a website and everything's built with all their products.
Yeah. So there's a couple of options for if a SMB already has a website. The first thing to note is whether that website is hosted on WordPress or not. If that website is hosted on WordPress, we can actually bring it over to our system relatively easily. And we can add this WooCommerce plugin to a store or to a website that already exists. And we can add all this functionality in. However, if it's not a WordPress site at this moment, we don't necessarily have a super quick and easy way to have them operate within Website Express.
If I could just jump in for a second, Sophie. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure who asked the question, but I'll give you another suggestion. So when you think of the product section of this, think of it like a catalog. Okay. And then if you think of a website and a button that says shop now, you have a catalog and it goes to a catalog. There can be a disconnect between those two things. And if you're running ads, you can still get traffic to the individual landing pages for each product in the catalog. You don't have to go back and try and convince them to reinvest in a website. But from what you just saw, you can probably build them a much cooler website in like 10 minutes. But instead of trying, but I get what that's like. I remember that from the old days when I had an agency, but I just paid to have my website built. I don't want another one. I get it. That's a fight not worth fighting, particularly in this model where you're saying, just go get more customers, right? So I would just say, stick a shop now button on there, use WooCommerce here as a product catalog, run ads to it. Bob's your uncle, go back and upgrade that website later. If that's, you know, a possible scenario, I think it would be one that works. I've seen it work a lot over time.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. So on this product page here, you'll see that we have a gift card and a physical product already in our store. And what these are is just kind of placeholder items so that we can have a really good idea of how to build out a product in our store. So what we could do is we could add our own new product, or what we can do is we can actually just go in and change some of the information on this product. So if I click into, let's say, this hat, I can see that obviously this is where my title goes, this is the description, and as I scroll down, I see exactly where that product image lives, and I see exactly where that price lives. So what can be really nice for, you know, as we're learning how to use this software, is actually just replacing this information with our new, with the information for the product we'd like to sell. So we can change the price here, obviously. And on the side here, we have a variety of options for that product. So I'm not going to go too deep into this right now. If you are curious, there is a variety of resources where I do a little bit more deep dives into these aspects of the products. And I can get maybe Cam or someone to share that out with the registrants after as well. But we can set our price, we can change our product image here, and then we can either preview those changes. So this should show us what it's going to look like in our store. Obviously, I didn't make too many changes, but we can see that that product one has changed. And if I scroll down, that's where my description will be. And I can update it so that it makes changes to my live store. And one last thing I just want to highlight is if we go back to the WooCommerce and we head to the dashboard, as we build out our store, as we advertise our store and our products, whether you know, using maybe Shoptoit, we can start to see our orders and our sales come in here on this dashboard. However, in the business app, we are also starting to surface some of this information. So we'll have a nice little card in our business app that shows sales and number of orders that are coming in, as well whoever is a user or And yeah, a user on this account will get an email when there is an order notification that will really easily allow SMBs to jump in and manage their orders as well. And that is all I have for the Website Express demo. If there's any questions, feel free to let me know.
All right, thanks, Sophie. Walter had his hand up earlier. Walter, did you want to ask a question or?
Yeah, actually, I have several questions for Scott. Like the product, are there any industries that are prohibited? Like we have CBD clients. Is that something that that this product can run to?
Yeah, so we're talking about Google restrictions, and Google restrictions are always a bit of a gong show, and they change, right? One week it's this, the next week it's that. At any time that you have a specific client, you want us to do a little gut check with Google in advance of approaching them, just shoot us a quick note, Walter, and we'll get in touch with Google and say, here it is. You know, include the website if there is one, or at least the category. But yeah, like depending on the state, depending on the area, there's different rules about CBD guys, right?
Yeah,
guns is another one. Pardon me?
We had somebody that was a CBD guy just try recently, and it is still being blocked. CBD
From Google.
From Google,
Okay.
yeah. As well as tobacco and vaping is as well. Vape products.
So.
Just thought I'd jump in quick.
Google's blocking that across the board, all states, or just?
This was Canada and USA that I was trying in. I'm not sure about other countries abroad, but we could definitely look into it for you.
But did we check state by state?
So I just wonder if they broke it down by Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas.
I'm honestly not sure about that. Again, we could look into that though. If there was a client in a specific state, we could do a check pretty easily.
And there's also
we got cannabis shops. They're more than stuff. We have more cannabis shops than 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And there's some things like sex toys as an example. There's all kinds of little things in there. So sometimes it does require a little, it's not us, it's Google, right? But we can certainly provide that gateway for you to find out. Just ask us, we'll call them and do the heavy lifting and do the whining and see if we can't get them to do it.
Okay.
Cool. Great. And then another question too. So I know that this product is or this service is more geared towards like physical products and services, but if the sales process for our clients was to book a phone call, or if they needed some sort of like, we have roofers that do custom offers and jobs and things like that, is that something that can be applied to this?
Yeah, so we have another product in there called Google Ads for small business. It has a $199 US price point, so not terrible. We just wanted to bring this down a little bit to work directly with the WooCommerce integration. So that's why that price point is lower. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, we have a product that can solve their ads problem. This particular one, we gear it towards the website build with WooCommerce, that integration, and helping these guys move from, bricks and mortar to this new hybridized thing we're calling e-commerce, which is basically just giving the consumer what they want, right? So that's what this is specifically. But we have a great recommended bundle that Cam and the marketing department have put together for you guys that includes all of the Express products plus our ads, and you can sell that all day long. You can easily get $100 a month per customer and get real results from it. So we have something for you regardless of what the category is. As it relates to service products, like what you're talking about, a roofer, we don't care. Like our system doesn't care what the call to action is, right? What our system cares is, do we have a schema for these things that we can map into and get the long tail keywords out of it? And the answer to that is, if you have a product details page on a website, then it's a product, right? Whether they buy online or not, who cares? Does that kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, no. That does. So just for this product in particular, it does require the WooCommerce plugin. So if they had a Shopify store, is that?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
We can suck out a Shopify or lots of different things. You'll go into the FAQs. We're talking about WooCommerce because this is the Vendasta right? And that's what you should do. You should switch them all to WooCommerce. But if they don't switch to WooCommerce, right, then we've been doing this a long time. You'll find us in lots of different places around there.
Cool. All right.
And for us, it's just don't do the work. Don't do exports and up. Like you can just give us a CSV file with your product catalog and we can run a product ad campaign. But if they're in some of the top platforms or even some of the other things like Zero Accounting or Intuit, we've got plugins for all that stuff.
And just to chime in here, as Sabina had some questions in the chat as well, I think that answers your question, Sabina, of does this only work with WordPress and WooCommerce? So no, it works with any type of e-commerce store. If they have a current e-commerce website, this would also work for that as well. All right, Walter, did you have any other questions?
No, that's pretty much, I think, yeah, no, it looks pretty good. I'll give it a shot.
And seriously, it is about going out and telling 100 small businesses, hey, you need help in this thing. They're vulnerable right now because they're desperate, right? And when you add ads into it, you just don't talk about the future or what we call gradual success. You talk about immediate success. So I highly encourage you guys when you're talking to these guys, whether it's product-led growth or whatever you're trying to help them with, that you really seriously consider introducing ads, because there just isn't a faster way to get proven results. And frankly, it's an enduring way. I think it's fair and reasonable to expect Google to be paid. It is their searcher, after all. They are a business. I would go buy stock in Google and start selling ads.
So WooCommerce is more for a retail business, where they have products that you can do the curbside pickup. If the restaurant, they want to do a curbside pickup to pick up their meal. Is that what WooCommerce is designed for? Not so much for service business.
You can use WooCommerce for service business, for restaurant business. What the kind of out of the box solution that we have integrated to Website Express comes with just the generic WooCommerce functionality, but WooCommerce has thousands of plugins for restaurants, for service-based businesses that you can add on to your site to make it a little bit more customizable.
So WooCommerce is the name of it, then you add the plugins for what you want it to do.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a question for Scott.
Shoot.
So I just activated your other, the Google Ads for small business yesterday for a client. And so what do I expect? I mean, I saw there was an email that I have to do something on the system. I went in the system and I tried to put in all the keywords that I know of. But that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to do. I sent an email, but I haven't heard back. So what do I expect now? It was.
Is this Sabina?
Yes, it is.
Christina, do you have an email from Sabina? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Sabina, I'm going to have a look here and make sure that you're looked after.
Okay, thank you.
So Sabina, you shouldn't have to even add keywords. That's optional. Like the tool will go into the website and extract the keywords regardless of which of our services you're using. So the idea is for you to say, hey, I can rapidly put people on there. And then in your executive report from Vendasta and through the Vendasta dashboard, you can see what's happening right away. So you really shouldn't have to do anything, but you can. Like you can add AdWords, you can add negatives, you can do things like add a competitive word that they also want to bid on. Like my competitor is Bill's Car Wash, I'm Ted's Car Wash. Let's have an excellent adventure and buy both of them. So you can do that kind of stuff because the software doesn't know that Ted is your competitor, right? But you shouldn't have to do that. This is about, if I were to give you any advice, just straight up advice, this is about don't try and serve the needs of one customer, go try and serve the needs of 50 customers. Right? And when you start to give them traffic fast, right, they start to call you. And our job is to give you traffic fast. Vendasta's job is to give you other tools that you can help them to get them going down this funnel. Like you're building a funnel for your business. Get them started, grow them. So that would be my advice, Sabina. I wouldn't go in there and try and fool around with our software. The software should be able to do it for you.
Okay, that's great. Good to know because I don't like doing things.
Yeah, yeah. Particularly technical things, right?
Sabina, I see you also had a question. I see your ticket here in our help desk, and you also asked about if you need to connect Google Analytics. So maybe I'll just answer that quickly because that might apply to everyone here. What we do is we auto tag all of the ads so that in analytics under acquisition Google Ads, all of the data for the traffic for the ads automatically gets sent there. So you can pull and generate reports through analytics and you don't have to do anything to connect it. It's done automatically.
So how do you know that which Google Analytics you're working on?
So we, through our Google Partner API, we actually have the ability to auto tag each link click when it occurs so that Google knows which website we're doing this for and that we're, your ads manager. So it automatically sends that data. It doesn't need to know your Google Analytics account. It just knows it based on the website.
Okay, and do we have to connect GMB to the system? Because I went into the system I purchased, like I activated yesterday, right? And I wasn't sure what I'm expected to do. There was GMB, it does say integrate, but I wasn't sure, so I just left it alone.
Yeah, so what you're expected to do is not much. That's the point, but perfect. You can do things like say, hey, so if you want the ads, the keyword ads or the product ads to show up in maps, then you have to connect the ad campaign to the GMB campaign. It's like click of a button and authorization and you're done. And then those ads will naturally start to show up, not just in the keyword stack or the product stack, but in the maps stack as well. And we really encourage you to do that, Sabina. Like it's literally a 2-second thing to do, but you don't have to. The point is you could spend those 2 seconds activating that, or you'll go call another customer.
Okay, so I guess I'll do the 2 seconds. I can do that.
And go call another customer.
Yeah, after 2 seconds I can do
okay. But yeah, and we're here to help you guys. Like this is us working together to figure out, they're right. Like the time for this at the expense of being opportunistic. Everyone you're going to talk to that's a small business that you think might fit for this $100 ad campaign, like they're going to be interested because they're desperate. They don't know what's going on. We don't ask for any setup fees. There's no commitment to contracts. This is a month-to-month thing. You should be able to go talk to a bunch of people and you'll be surprised at how much response you get. Because you're talking about something that's real and it's right now and it hits their ears because that's what they're looking for. So think a little bit along those kind of lines because I think it will really help you in the acquisition and onboarding process with guys that they couldn't afford to commit to big projects. So, hey, don't give them a whole bunch of service. Just start to drip them results and then start to increase the service over time. But do it with the foundation of saying, look, you've got a problem. Your problem is you're not converting the traffic you're getting. I can help you with that problem because that's what I do, not Shoptoit. We're the traffic guys. You're the help people.
One more question. Would this work for real estate agents? Sure.
They sell products.
Yeah. So what if I was speaking to a couple of real estate agents, they were asking what, if in 3 days a house is sold,
yeah,
then the ads will have to be changed with the new house in market, right?
Yeah. Well, here's a little bit what's different about a real estate agent. You have to take a bit of a different approach because you're not going to get access to what's called the MLS database, which is the product database, right? So you probably want to try and get traffic for a real estate agent, not in the product way, but in the category way. So I sell houses in this area. That's your category, right? Mm-hmm. You buy those words and no one cares about the inventory at that time because all those real estate agents want is a warm lead, right? I want somebody who's going to give me a listing, or I want somebody who's going to buy a house. But somebody who's going to buy a house, they want to just become the real estate agent for it. So it's a little bit of a different way to think about it, Sabina, but Google drives an inordinate amount of traffic to realtors, mortgage brokers, realtors. It's a highly searched thing. I'm looking for a house in Altador, right? They go to Google, but they end up on the realtor's website or ultimately on the list, whatever the listing thing is in your state or your country, which here it's called the MLS, multiple listing service or something.
Okay, so I do have another client in my pipeline, something to do with real estate, not exactly real estate agent, but I really want to see the results from this first client
Yeah,
that
sure.
I
Yeah.
just activated yesterday. So I'm excited about this one, and then next one is in the pipeline already. So
Yeah. Now go find 5 more.
yeah.
It really, I can't overemphasize that for your agency business. Like it is, there's never been a time to date that they are as open to suggestions that can solve their core problem, which is what on earth am I going to do next? This is a really compelling time for you to be, to help them. They recognize they've ignored investing in this area for a long time. They don't have much of a choice anymore, or they're just going to not exist.
That's right.
Okay, just to chime in here, we have 3 minutes left for the webinar, so we should start wrapping up. If there are any, do we have any other questions? There's one on the chat that I just want to tell everybody about. It's about the fee. So the fee is $99 monthly, and that already includes the 10% ad spend. So for that $99 fee, $67.20 of that is actually, that cost actually goes to ad spend. So if you want additional credits, there's also an available add-on in the product page in Vendasta that you can easily add on. And just to wrap everything up, so we have the product-based Google Ads for small businesses that can either be standalone, if your customer already has a website, already has e-commerce in it, but we can also bundle it together with a Website Express product that we have here at Vendasta. It's free, and it's an opportunity for you to eventually upsell these customers over to the Website Pro product. So that's a good starting point if you have clients who have no e-commerce website and they want fast results through Google Ads. So yeah, are there any last questions, comments before we end this? Yes, Walter.
Yeah, I got a question actually, maybe Scott, or you can answer this too. Do you have, as far as like, I don't know, case studies or previous campaigns that you've worked on? That's the first question that we could use as leverage. And the second one is, do you have averages of like CPC costs and things like that based off of just using this particular software or this technology?
Yeah, it's a little like it. So yes is the short answer to your question. It's on the listing. You'll see some examples of that, some testimonials, all that kind of stuff. And I'll warn you that it's a slippery slope using them, because every category, every minute, in every geographic region yields different results at different times. And what I would encourage you to do is to go to a customer and say, hey, start small. Like, this isn't about selling big campaigns. This is about proving to somebody that this can work, and then move them up the path. You don't have to justify too much when you start small. In my opinion, the approach is, hey, start small. Let's actually see what it is for you, not guess at what you might get. And then if you're not happy with it, shut it down. But you're going to be happy with it, which means increasing the ad spend, which typically means increasing the amount of help they need in conversion strategies and content strategies. That's just like, Walter, I mean, it's your business. You know it better than I do. I've spent a lot of time in that business. I didn't have tools like this when I had an agency like you guys are running. But if I did, I would have taught every one of our salespeople the exact same path, the same routine, right? You set expectations and you deliver on the expectations. And those expectations from whatever stats of another company are a landmine.
I will say also, just to point out, we don't have that doc on this product page. It's on our Google Ads for Small Business one. If you want to check it out there, I'll ensure that it's added to this one as well. But
yeah, we got to get the FAQs for the, we got to dress up that page a little bit, but Cam will help us get that fast tracked, right, Cam?
Definitely, definitely. All right. Any last questions? I think we're a little bit over time here. So I am going to send everyone a follow-up email for this webinar, including all the resources about both the product-based Google Ads for small businesses, as well as Website Express. I'll also include a link on how to create a package if you don't know how to create a package, just so you can sort of like bundle together these two products that we discussed today. And if there are any questions, feel free to reach us using the Contact Us form and the specific product page that I just sent the link over through the chat, or email us at marketplace@vendasta.com. Thanks, everyone.
Sorry,
you.
Christina,
Have a good day.
Christina, am I expecting an email from you then?
Yes, I'll be in touch shortly here, Sabina.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
See you guys. Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.